Yes, my name's Steve.
Wait. My name's Arnez.
And we got an unboxing video for you. Well, sort of unboxing. This is more of a haul video, I guess. Because everything's unboxed already.
They're so shiny.
Yeah, I literally just, like, got them out. Like, I was trying to set up because I was looking through to make sure everything actually had the stuff. Because where I got all my stuff from for this video today was from the prop shop. We'll have a link in the description below for the website. But they're essentially a vintage toy store in Port Huron, Michigan. But they also do movie replica props as well. So I'm there, I wouldn't say like fairly often, but like once in a while I poke my head and see what stuff they got in. But you contacted me when you got a bunch of Godzilla stuff. So I was like, I'll go check it out.
It was a good haul.
Yeah, as you can see, starting off with the Trendmaster Power Armor Godzilla figures, the entire wave.
Power Rangers?
Power Armor Godzilla figures.
Well, technically, Mechagodzilla can be like Power Ranger.
Sort of, in a way. But we got Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, Rodan, who's actually, I'm pretty sure is the hard one to find out of the group. And out of all these is the one I never owned as a kid. Like, I had all these as a kid, and also we have Mecha King Ghidorah. But I lost all this stuff for these things. All of it.
You got all of it now. Don't lose it again, Steve.
I'll try to. Because the problem is I still mess around with these.
We're going to have to super glue the stuff in there, Steve.
Please no. I might have to sell things eventually. I like to be as intact as humanly possible.
There's a lot more stuff down here on the floor, you guys.
Yeah, we'll get to it. You know what? I'm going to
drop
things off these guys already. What was it? Oh, his leg thing. Okay.
I see where it went.
We'll save that in a minute. But I kind of want to do like little close-ups of everything from the haul. And then we will...
These will get review eventually.
Yeah, more than likely. Oh, he's got like something on top. I gotta clean up the armor. But anyways, this is the Godzilla. He comes with 3 missiles, 2 launchers. One looks like a spaceship. Pretty sure it's probably supposed to be a spaceship.
This is not fair.
The other one's an actual kid.
Why does this King Ghidorah have arms?
Because that's what it was missing, that Trendmaster thought. So they gave it to him.
This is cool.
This Godzilla has a helmet to protect his brain. He's
oh my god, it does.
He's got a body armor. He's got guns on his arms. You got the kneecap armors, which also look like little guns, kind of like
hey Steve,
75 Mechagodzilla.
How do you make Godzilla even better?
Make him the Terminator. It's like dun, 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 dun. The only thing that's kind of sucks is like from the back, there's nothing going on. It's just Godzilla, which is boring. If I could say that, like Godzilla was boring. Like
you just lost us like 30 subscribers,
right? Because like look at the front. There's so much going on. But the back's just like, whatever. And all this stuff comes off.
Oh, that's cool. In a way, but then that's a lot of chipping on the paint.
Maybe.
Over time.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue, is because it's chrome. So you can scuff it over time. Or even like fracturing it really messes it up. So I'm not going to be popping the stuff off too much. When we do the review, I'll
disassemble it.
Yeah, I'll disassemble, go over them a little more. But for the most part, they're in pretty good shape. I forget which year these ones officially came out in. Because I'm not sure if these are... I know there's Final Wars version. I don't know if there was King of the Monster Power Arm figures. Let me know in the comment section below.
There's no date, Steve. I'm sorry.
Hand me the next one.
Mr. I have arms officially.
Yeah, so Arnez is going to be my kaiju handing person. Oh, that's where it went. I was looking for the extra arm. Found it. But here we have the Mecha King Ghidorah, who has what Arnez is calling arms, but they're actually little missile launchers.
No, they're arms. They got pincers on them.
Right? He can grab things.
Exactly. He's like, this is what it feels like?
The only thing I hate is like the leg armor doesn't like to stand. Like to me, this is almost the most boring one because there isn't really that much extra. Like
he's already half metal.
Yes.
You're adding more metal to him. That's not even.
Yeah, it's like it had armor on the legs to begin with, and I'm just making them thicker, I guess.
It's like, how can we make Terminator better? Make him liquid metal.
Yeah, I like it. That one doesn't want to stay on. But he's got the 2 extra guns on the top, and then you got the actual metal piece. Which what was kind of cool about this is this came off, and it's like its own little jet, and you can fly around. Which I think I like, out of all these things, I actually have this thing still hanging around somewhere, but I'm missing this entire piece. Don't ask me how.
How are you going to say he's the boring one when he has 2 pieces to him?
Well, like I said, it's cool still, but I mean, like, in terms of, like, aesthetics, like, it's Mecha King Ghidorah, right? There isn't
Pretty much, yeah.
there isn't really anything that fancy going on with it. But it's got like a neat little extra gimmick that I can kind of appreciate.
This is crap. They didn't add anything to him.
Yeah, Mechagodzilla is
He's got
another
rings.
one that doesn't really have much. To be fair, this one I love the most because it's almost like it's like a hybrid between the Super Mechagodzilla
That's what I mean.
from the Heisei, but it still kind of resembles 74.
You know what the cool thing is? Why is his spines are circles?
So he could open a can of beer. He could literally open up a can of whoop ass, you know? And then he's got the gun fingers. And the other thing that's kind of neat, too, is he also looks a lot like the poster version. Like, when you see the poster from the movie, like, he looks pretty spot on.
There's a lot going on with it.
Yeah, and then he has the missile here that shoots out of his tummy, which is pretty cool. And nice thing is like, for, again, how old he is, like, the silver paint on him isn't really chipping anywhere. Like, usually you'll get, like, scuffs and things from play. Not so much from him. It's just, like, the chrome, again, a little bit weird.
My God, I feel sorry for this Rodan, Steve.
And then these, like, pop off. But you have the Garuda ship on the back here. But next.
He's so misshapen.
What do you mean? That's totally Rodan.
His body's so big and his legs are so tiny.
Again, Rodan.
He has diapers on.
He's jacked.
He's got a diaper on.
He had to get thick for the show, man. He had to tack on some weight for the extra armor. I like that he has like little ball joints on his wing, those, instead of them just being connected and call it a day. So you can still pose him when he's wearing the armor.
Stuff.
Right? You can actually have him like tuck in. And now, oops. Okay, it just popped off. I was like, if that tore, I'm gonna cry. But because now, once I get this part back on, which that just pegs into here, it just kind of looks like the Terminator that wants to see her manager. I don't appreciate your sale. God bless it, Rodan. Uh-oh. Everything's wanting to pop off now. It's not so cool anymore. But you do get the same little grapple missile that we saw on the Mecha King Ghidorah. But it's sort of like its own little spaceship, too, if you wanted it to be. And then it's got the missile launchers on the top here. This little gun thing chilling on its thigh, because that's where you need extra lasers, I guess.
I feel like he has a lot going on, but he's also the easiest one to fall apart.
Yeah, it's cool, but like you have the metal plating here on the wings too, which is neat. To be fair, it actually I feel like gives Rodan a fighting chance now. Because for Rodan, for me, like it's a cool monster, but there isn't really like anything that cool going on with him. Like at least until we got Fire Rodan, where it shot beams. All right, I'm just gonna stop playing with this one because it's not working out in my favor. But
Steve, would you like a 2003 Mechagodzilla?
Sure. And I would like him black.
And beefy and big.
Right? So, I forget which one this officially is. I just know it looked kind of cool, so I grabbed it. But we got the tag back here. Because I don't think this was a movie exclusive, but I know it was like an alternate version. At least I don't think anyways, but when you open the card up, you see like all the other guys that were in the line.
Yeah, I don't see that one though anywhere in there.
Yeah, well, there's like the standard version because these ones on top are a little bit more larger scale, which I almost have all of them except for I don't have a GMK or a Baragon yet. But that's where he's from, and he actually had him in the story. He had the regular version, but I just thought the black one was kind of cooler because I got a lot of Kiryus, but nothing that's like stealth Kiryu. But for the most part, it's got everything else going on. It's got the little blades, the back plate. It's got a little bit of red around the face region here. This one, I'm probably going to keep the card tag on.
Yeah, there's not much. You won't, gain anything by taking it off.
Yeah, I don't know. I might. Because for the most part, I don't really got that many with tags on anymore, except for the movie theater versions, because those ones I don't really do photos with that much or anything, so it's kind of like, I don't really care quite as much. While the regular releases tend to end up in like photo galleries and things, so I don't like the tags being on those. Then it's just one extra thing I gotta worry about trying to keep intact. But still pretty fancy.
Here.
Also a little dusty, but we can clean this stuff off
Oh,
eventually.
Godzilla next.
All right, so you gotta hand me a few things here.
What do you need?
So first we have the Godzilla official 2000. I need Mechagodzilla, the one you're holding there, and I need the little babies.
What little babies?
There's little babies. There's little
bugs?
Yeah, there's little bugs in a ship. Faster, Sheva. You decided you didn't want to edit, and we got to make sure we have continuous conversation for the video. Thank you. So, we got the...
Oh, you want this one too? I know he doesn't go with that, but you know, you never know.
We're getting to it.
He's a little baby.
But, to our understanding, these were from a set. So, you got the little Mega Nulai, the versions of Mechagodzilla before it became the larger version. Which is pretty cool. Actually,
that is a weird looking one.
yeah, I didn't really have anything that was really similar to these in my collection, so I thought this little set was kind of neat. You got the little flyer.
It's different, that's
Which
for
looks
sure.
nice. You got the ship. So you can kind of have it flying around battling. And then we got Godzilla, which is probably... I like that I don't have this version of the Godzilla vinyl, so it's nice to have it. Plus, the spines look pretty sweet. It would have been nice if it was maybe consistent, but the
I was
spines...
gonna say, what is that? There's a pretty big gap right there.
I don't know, this is kind of how it is. But, it's kind of like he's breathing atomic blast. It's kind of what I think was giving it. But it's painted at the top, so it's like... I'm not quite sure. But Mechagodzilla looks freaking beastie as all heck.
It's kind of creepy, actually.
Yeah, well, it's just got a lot of really nice sculpted details, especially for a vinyl. Like, even the teeth are kind of protruding a little bit. Like, if they made an actual, like, X Plus of the... Oh, not X Plus. The monster arts of the actual 2000, the suit one, this would actually look really nice with them.
Yeah.
Because even got, like, all the posable little arms on the bottom. Tail can rotate on the back here. Then, probably out of all the figures we bought today, this one I think I'm probably the most impressed with in terms of just overall detail. Because Godzilla's like, that's pretty typical vinyl. It's definitely on the nicer side for a Godzilla vinyl. But still, it's like pretty standard fare. Well, this one's like almost X Plus good. Almost. No.
Got good details on it. You cannot deny that, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't have like the typical like the vinyl, like the teeth are close together, so they're like one chunk of one chunk of vinyl. So you get a little bit of differentiation between them. So I need this one, and then I need Gamera. And then
Smaller Gamera?
I need the smaller Gamera, and then your little the Gauss that you were playing with earlier.
Wait. Whee!
Yeah, that one. It's not. It doesn't work because you can't really be like go. Doesn't work quite as good as roll down. But what these are, also got the little hand here. These are Kaiyodo Gamera 3 figures, which I didn't know was a thing till before 2 weeks ago. When he first emailed me, it was like, "Hey, would you be interested in any of these?" But it's gonna take a minute to get to the shop, but. When I get them in, you can check them out. And I saw these, and for initial thought, he had them next to a couple other figures that kind of, they looked a little bigger to me. So I thought these were like the X Pluses from the shot. And then I looking at them a little better, I was like, oh, they're stylized. And I found out also they're not as big.
They're pretty tiny.
Yeah, they're not. They're like fairly typical like Japanese action figure size. So decided to grab them. Like I thought they were neat. Then like the iris here is super beastie looking. With the Gamera though, it comes with this Hyper Gauss.
He's ugly.
Which also is articulated, so you can rotate the wings a little bit. But for the most part, it's just going to be.
Wait. How can a little tiny figure like that have rotation, but then with some of the ones that we own have zero rotation? And
Don't worry about it. The weird thing about these Kaiyodos, and it's like that with my Evangelions, is how the joint works. Like the head's actually a fixed thing, but the mouth opens and closes if it'll ever focus. But the arm, like they don't have actually ball joints. Every joint on it is it rotates.
That's weird.
So how you oppose it is you would like rotate the arm and then you kind of
adjust it as you need it.
Yeah, then you just kind of like find the position you like after rotating it, And you do the same for its little burning finger hand. But detailing's pretty good. Nothing too crazy. Like, it's more or less like you kind of treat him as like a small statue. Man, you're really messing up the focus on this thing.
He's falling apart.
Right? It's just the color contrast, like especially in Gamera where like the shell's really light on the bottom. You don't typically see, so on your shelf it's going to stand out pretty well. And then you have the little extra arm thing here, which again we'll probably do these guys as an official review, so we'll go over them a little bit more in depth there. For the iris though, this part liked to pop off.
Hey, there's always something wrong with little, things like that.
Yeah, especially for how old they are, because these guys are like early 2000s. And again, you kind of like articulate this by rotating it, but this likes to pop off. So this one I have to play around with more. But you can rotate the head. These are bendy wires, but they also have rotation. At least I think they're bendy wires. Yeah, they're bendy wires. So you would rotate them and then you kind of bend them more accordingly. But this is a fixed spot, which kind of sucks because the way the feet are, it's kind of like the tentacles touch the ground before the feet.
Yeah, it looks a little weird.
Yeah, and I got to heat it up. I got to adjust the little spikes protruding from the legs. But this one's definitely a little bit more hardcore looking. Like, it's almost like Guyver-y.
It needs a little work, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's pretty much like I got to re-glue that back in. But detailing color-wise looks really nice. And something, like, again, like, you don't really see these things ever. Like, I was trying to find out, how he kind of, like, bought them off the guy. Because I was kind of curious because of, it's back in the camera and losing kaijus.
No,
it's like,
Steve.
Who around here, like, really has, like, this much amount of weird thing outside of me? Because I have a lot of kaiju stuff, and a lot of that's just because, like, I import a lot of things, and I've been collecting for freaking ever. And growing up in town, like, I've never met anybody that likes this stuff as much as I do.
No, when I went to see the Godzilla movie, the 2019, there was one guy, he was a pretty big fan, and only reason why I knew he was a big fan, because he had the popcorn bucket.
Oh, I still gotta get the popcorn bucket.
I know.
But we have the Bandai Vinyl Hyper Ghost, which is the only thing I was really missing, like a figure of from the movie. Which is just like blue ghost. Nothing too complicated. Still detailing looks really nice. Got some hard edges on the back here. Nice molded detail. No real articulation. Like, you can move the legs a little bit. But that's about it.
There's not much to him, but he still looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's like, it's a boring Bandai vinyl, but it's like it's still a really nice looking Bandai vinyl. Has the card here. This one's probably one of the ones that the card's going to come off. Because, like, if I bust out any more of the Monster Arts, like the Monster Arts Gamera, you can kind of pose with them. And have them on there.
Steve, the main one.
Alright, we had to adjust the camera a little bit, but for Gamera here, it's got a little fluffies. I guess these guys were sitting in the collection for a long time and then sold, so they're pretty freaking dusty. This was the one, like, when he sent me photos, I was like, the heck is this thing? As I didn't know they made a Bandai vinyl of Gamera in this size. Because, grabbing that Hypergauss again, he's a pretty big monster. Like, he's X plus size. He's like 30 centimeter X plus size. He's about 12 inches. He's like 12 inches tall. I kind of wish he stood a little bit more flat flush. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I could probably heat it up and get it to do what thing I want. But it's Gamera from the 95 film. But this was a 30th anniversary figure.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it was what made it so special. And if you've seen a box for him, it's Ghidorah. It's pretty much like the Ghidorah box. But nothing too crazy. Essentially, it's just a very, very large Bandai vinyl. But it just has a lot of very nice detailing.
Whoa.
Yeah, the shell on them looks really nice. But you can definitely tell that it's been sitting for a minute because even in the crevices, it's got some dust. So I'm going to be doing a lot of cleaning.
Well, the shell is surprisingly looking nice, actually.
Yeah, also, what got wet?
Something leaked. Look, on your table.
Yeah, I know, there's something wet there. I'm so confused right now.
We peed while we were doing our reviews. Which one of the monster was it? Who was last? It was
I don't
Gauss.
see anything coming from my roof. Anyways, all right. Well, I guess we'll wrap this up here. But you get a little bit of articulation. But
Oh, no, he's leaking. He just made some more drops on the table right there.
well, the tail's wet.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, something. You know, it might have been wet from him cleaning it, because I guess he was cleaning them before I went and checked them out. So it might still have some water retaining inside of it.
Good possibility.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking of.
Gamera had to go pee-pee to
Yeah, you'll say Gamera had an accident. But it still looks pretty nice. Head sculpt looks good. It's just a very large and large kaiju. It's just weird because he's like super duper green. But very happy to have him in my collection. I ended up when I was buying these, I traded in my I repainted a Ultimate 1998 Godzilla, so you took that in for some trade.
Well, you should have made a video of that one. That one took forever for you to clean up and paint.
Yeah, it was just like I was doing a lot. It was a lot of trial and error, so I didn't really film it because I didn't really have a clear idea what I wanted to do with it. So
You didn't want people to call it Cheetozilla before Cheetozilla was a thing.
right? You would have been Turdzilla because he was brown. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. So if you guys would be interested in seeing any of these guys as a review, this one I'll probably do no matter what, for sure. The rest of the stuff will probably be here and there, but depending on how you guys receive them, depends on which ones will show up sooner. But we already have like a few reviews lined up, and then we'll get to those guys. And make sure to follow us on Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, and Facebook. If you guys like to keep up to date with the channel and donate, would greatly appreciate it. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, come arrange a deal. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.